Hi guys, happy independence. Where have I been? Well, exciting things have been happening. If you are new to this channel, my name is Dr. Ozi, and I really share the gospel of getting merit-based green cards for the US through the EB1, which is employment-based first preference, or the EB2-NIW, which is employment-based second preference national interest waiver pathways, right? But we're here to give you guys an update and of course to give you information that can be life-changing for most, if not all of you, right? Okay, so let's start at the most exciting part, all right? We became US citizens this year, right? I became a US citizen this year. My husband became a US citizen this year. Super excited. And I'm going to tell you guys the gist, right? You guys have been part of the journey from when, of course, I got my green card 5 years ago. We've had so many individuals who we've helped get theirs as well. And of course, now that we're US citizens, I'm a US citizen, I want to take the time to give you guys a life update and, what's been going on, okay? So for those of you who are just joining, some people who have just joined our channel or our page and are wondering, what is all this talk about EB1A? What is this about EB2-NIW? I'm going to give you, a little recap, okay? So I arrived in the US about 15 years ago as an international student, and I was going to get my PhD, super excited. I went to California. And by the way, if you arrive in the US and California is your first port of call, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for you to live anywhere else. California is such a diverse part of people. Like, it's the weather, everything is so anyway, I digress. So I arrived in California and, worked tirelessly, got my PhD, microbiology, molecular genetics, and graduated, right? After that, I became a postdoc. Life happened. I married the love of my life. I moved to Tennessee. I became a postdoc, of course, and I did amazing research, things that I was so passionate about, working to figure out why people get rare diseases like sarcoidosis, and of course, therapeutic interventions for things like that. Not only was that stuff my passion, just the fact that it was in the national interest of the US landed me my green card, right? I was able to apply for my green card through a pathway called the EB2-NIW pathway, which is the employment-based second preference national interest waiver pathway. And so I did it, and I was like, wow, I didn't need to apply for H-1B at the time. In fact, I went from being a student of F-1 visa or a postdoc, doing the OPT, optional practical training, which is basically when you graduate, you're given at least a year to work in your area of specialty. And if you're in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, you get up to 3 years, right? So because I was in STEM, I got the privilege of continuing to work under the OPT program for 3 years. And I believe during maybe the end of my second year, basically in the middle of the third year, I applied for the EB2-NIW path through the EB2-NIW pathway and got my US green card. So not only did I get the green card, I spread the gospel of this pathway. I told everyone who wanted to listen, I said, hey guys, listen, you don't need an employer to do so. You don't need a sponsor. You don't need to do H-1B. You can get your green card from F-1 right away. And those who care to listen, I have a lot of people who got the green card around the same time that I did, just because of the good news of that message, just telling people about what they could achieve. And I continue to do that amazing work, continue to add value to the US and publish articles, papers, and, just things that were, in line with my field. And of course, on the side, continue to grow our family, my husband and I. The good thing was that my husband also got his green card at the same time. So that's one of the benefits of getting your green card through merit-based pathways, is that your spouse or your dependents and your kids under 21, you guys get it all at the same time. So our family continues to expand, and in the time between, hey, getting that green card and becoming a citizen, we had 3 kids. Yes, I know. Crazy, right? But I think that's productivity. We were quite productive, to the glory of God. So we continue to do work that was impactful to the US, continue to spread the good news. And of course, there's, pathways that allow you to live and work in the US doing the work that you love to do, right? So many of you are in science, so many of you are in tech, business, business owners, Some of you are technology gurus, people who are adding value to the US. There's a pathway. Pathways exist that will help you get your US green card, right? There is the employment-based first preference, EB1, that allows people who are experts, who have reached the top of their fields, to be able to get their green cards, right? It's not open to only people who have PhDs like I do. No. There are people who have master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, or people who are just exceptional in what they do, and they're able to get their green cards, right? And that's why we're here. We've helped countless individuals with editorial services, with guides, ebooks, practical things that will help you move from point A to B and land you where you need to be, okay? So there's no need to overstay your visa, guys. There's no need to, fall out of status, cut corners, or figure out, things that may not be in line with who you are, right? Your credentials, your expertise can get you the green card that you need. It worked for us, right? And we continue to add value even today, right? So these are things that are available for you. So life in the US has been awesome. We've continued to give back, and it's such a privilege to be a US citizen. So I started looking into it, figuring out, okay, what is required? Okay, I need to talk about something that I'm doing that's in the interest of the US. Oh, but I'm already doing this research, saving lives, through trying to figure out what causes sarcoidosis, a rare disease, why people get it, the microbial, involvement with that, and what we can do to try and prevent things like that or treat things like that potentially. So I decided to use that, right? I got letters of recommendation from experts in my field. I dusted off my publications, looked at how many citations I had. I had gone to conferences, I had won awards. I had judged the work of my peers. I had all these things that made me look exceptional, showed that I was exceptional. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put these together. I'm going to tell a story through a petition. I'm going to back it up with evidence. I'm going to submit that and then get my green card, right? So at the time, I just got married. My husband and I were living in Tennessee. We were our first apartment in Hermitage. We were living there and just like doing our own thing, right? So I put in the application and waited. Now, at that time, there wasn't the option to expedite the process, so we had to wait. I think we waited about maybe 6 to 8 months, or about 7 months. And then the I-140, the first step, got approved. I remember seeing that approval and being super excited, right? And those who have applied for EB2 or EB1 know this. Like, there's incredible tension that comes with waiting, right? You're just like doing something else, and you're just like, okay, let me log in, let me check my receipt number or my receipt notice to see my receipt number and track this application. So there's immense waiting. I went to my mailbox countless times, looked through everything and just waited, right? And then we got approved for the first step. Okay, I-140 has been approved, and applied for adjustment of status. My spouse at the time, added him as a dependent, and we got our green cards at the same time, right? What would you do when you get your green card? I mean, what I did, I shut the windows and I screamed in my apartment because I was just like, thank you, Lord. This was a long journey. I called my family and I, shared the news with them. Everyone was super excited because, being a permanent resident in the US is such a privilege, right? Because you get peace of mind. You know that you can purchase a home, for example. You can put down your roots. You know that you're not going anywhere, for a while, and you can continue to add value without thinking about immigration, without thinking about renewing driver's license every time, going to DMV, renewing your EAD. People who know this, right? So we're really excited, and we decided, okay, we've gotten our green cards now. What next, right? You know that when you get your green card through either the EB1 or the EB2-NIW pathway, it takes about 5 years to become a US citizen. Well, it's been 5 years, right? We've gotten our citizenship. We have it now in hand. So when we got the green card, of course, we continued to add value. This was a passion. This was something that I was really passionate about. Continue to do impactful work, publish articles, and, do things in line with my career, of course. And then I continue to spread the good news with you guys. So along the way, I created toolkits. I created editorial services that we could offer people who wanted us to do these things for them. Write the petition. We were really good at, grant writing. We transferred the skills. So we set up all these editorial services, created guides and toolkits that will help you guys get started, right? So this Independent Day is not just about waving the flag. It's an open invitation to you. It's time. It's time. It's time for you to turn your exceptional skills into permanent residency in the US, right? If you need help, hey, reach out, send a message, send an email, put all the information in the description portion of this video. Reach out today. Don't sit on information. Don't sit and wonder what if, and then time keeps passing. Immigration policies may change. Things can happen that could further delay the process. So guys, if you're looking for the push to apply for your US green card today, this is the push that you need. Okay, the 4th of July is an invitation for you to make your dreams in the US come through using your exceptional skills that you already have, right? There is no need to fall out of status. There is no need to apply for make false claims for things that you don't qualify for, right? Do things using the expertise that you already have, right? Apply today. So now between the time when we got our green card and the time of citizenship in the last 5 years, we've had 3 children, right? Life has happened, progress has happened, and we're thankful for that. But one of the things I'm most thankful for is just the opportunity to spread the message that there are legal ways, there are right ways to do things, that the things that you have in your hands right now, your expertise, your passion, your skills and gifts can actually get you a US green card. The fact that you're adding value to the US, the work that you're doing can get you that green card. I've celebrated with countless number of our clients who have gotten approved, people whose lives have been changed, people who can now make decisive decisions, and people who can say, hey, I'm adding value to the US. These are the kind of people that the US need, right? And so I'm making that invitation to you today. If you are out there and you're confused, you don't know, do you qualify? You don't know if what you have is good enough, or you need help drafting the petition, you don't know how to structure the application. Those are the kind of things that we offer. We offer you the ability to speed up the process through our editorial services, all right? So enjoy your 4th of July, enjoy the fireworks. It's not all about the fireworks, guys. Do what needs to be done today, all right? Get the information that you need, and most importantly, act on it.